Hi, and welcome to the last episode of the Trauma Translator live on I don't even know what platform I'm on LinkedIn and Instagram. Hope you're all having a great week, and I'm really excited to have a conversation with Jessie Lizak, who is the CEO and founder of Reveting, which is the platform that actually partners with me to actually enable this podcast and this live to happen. So I'm really excited to dive into all the topics today, and without further ado, please welcome Jessie.
Hey, Lauren.
Hi, what's up? I could talk to
Not
you
a
all
lot.
day. I'm
I
so grateful
know.
you're here.
I'm grateful to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm honored to do the last episode with you.
You did the first one and the last one. It's
Oh
a
my
very nice,
gosh.
yeah,
Yes.
I know. And you know what? We've gone through, I don't know how many mics I've had, minimally 4. I'm not sure. I've been standing, I've been sitting. We have different backgrounds. We have a lot of things going on, but we've done it together. We finally got to the point of the intro and outro video where we need it.
Oh my gosh. And it's the last
Entrepreneurship is a
episode.
journey.
But yeah, I mean, now you're ready to go and do it and continue to do it with this new brand.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like the thing about entrepreneurship, solopreneurship, anything that's emerging, right? It's evolving, whether it's science with medicine or technology, right? It's always evolving and you have to listen to the market. And that's kind of how we got here, because for the last 3 years, I haven't been able to figure out how to explain what this is in real life, right? Like why go elongated it? It made it sound like, oh, cool. It's an obscure Pearl Jam reference. Nobody understands that. And I had other things too that made sense to me, but the market didn't get it. So the only way I've ever been able to explain how impactful nervous system literacy is to your life, because that's literally what it does. And we've talked about this several times, that I was in therapy my whole life. I was raised by therapists, and nobody understood the mind-body connection. So when you have the ability to have the awareness and the connection to self, you have the better ability to connect to others and a higher power, and you could change your whole life. But if you don't have any nervous system literacy, you're going to get stuck in those same cycles of dysfunction over and over and over again. And I know you've learned the really hard way yourself, right? We talk about all the things you've been through from a health standpoint, from a professional standpoint, from a parenting standpoint. You stop drinking. You don't even drink coffee, which I just think, I mean, I understand why with the coffee thing, but that to me is, I can't.
Yeah. Well, I will admit, I have been starting to have like a glass of wine here and there.
Good.
Um,
You deserve it.
yeah. Yeah. And I'm reminded that you know what, 2 is good enough. 3 is too much, but 2 is okay.
I mean,
Um,
I would even go so far as to say, like, just listen to how your body feels. If you want to have 3 one
yeah,
night, great. Like, that's the thing about when I
right.
talk about like sobriety spectrum. Like, I stopped drinking. I smoke pot. I use it medicinally. I really do.
Mhm.
But one of the things I noticed too, like, I was celibate by choice for 2.5 years. I stopped drinking. I don't eat food. Like, what was I doing? And over the past few weeks, like about 6 weeks, when my health insurance was terminated, I since what was it, tax day on April 15th, I've been drinking so much coffee, and I was getting hungry, and I was drinking coffee, and I was really like slipping back into really bad habits. And as soon as I spoke my truth on Monday on LinkedIn, my hunger went away. I stopped drinking as much coffee. I felt better, because when we don't have the ability to speak and to speak our truth, it stays inside our bodies and it makes us sick and it makes us crazy, and we get stuck in these same cycles of dysfunction. But when we have the ability to speak our truth, everything opens up. And that's why I've always said, like, the 50 shades of blue for the throat chakra, speaking your truth, not living in shame. And like, as a woman who's a solopreneur, we have a lot of guilt, right? You feel bad that you're not with your kids. You feel bad you're not doing your business enough. And we all have to have a little bit of joy. So if you want to have a glass of wine here and there, great. Just listen to your body,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it was. I had that gallbladder attack 3 years ago. I became vegan. I quit drinking coffee, like you said, quit drinking alcohol for several years, but just slowly integrated back in beef and did that for about a year. And then this year I started just drinking a glass of wine. It was right around Christmas, which I think was right after you signed up. So it makes sense that it was right after. So yeah, I had a glass of red wine at Christmas, and now it's just Chardonnay all day. I don't want any red. I can only handle white for whatever reason.
Red
But I
is
listen
really
to my
tough.
body. Yeah, nothing. Oh, only other thing would be an Aperol spritz. But yeah, other than that, like I'm good. And still on decaf for me, it helps my nervous system. But
Yeah.
it is always good to do like I should probably do this again, like a quick like scan, maybe go back to like, I don't know, maybe I need to do a cleanse. To me, a cleanse would be like, I have these like vitamins over here, like full body cleanse, lots of water, and then maybe go vegan for a little while again and then reintroduce and start to be like, okay, how am I feeling now? Because back then it was so much more dramatic where it was like
Yeah.
gallbladder and like, but now it's like, I want to focus on my nervous system and how my emotions feel and how I like
Yeah.
hormones are interacting and
Yeah. Well, if you ever want help with that, let me know because I can help you do that. Because that's literally what I've done is you have to peel back all those layers. You do I mean, I've been doing A/B tests with my body since I started losing weight for the first time in 2013. Like I
yeah.
stopped eating dairy. I started doing things. People would always say, "What do you do?" And I would send them a long list. I'm like, I don't know if it's going to work for you, but this is what my body responds to. Now, personally, like veganism has not been something that my body responds to. It actually has more processed things in it generally, unless you're like making everything yourself. My
Everything from
body,
home. Yep,
yeah.
everything from scratch.
But that's
It's
like, I
hard.
mean, I do that too, but like still it's a lot when you're trying to produce content and trying to have a job
Too
and you have
much.
children. So like
Yeah.
you also like should
I
think
would
like,
make my cooking videos were my content at the time. So I'm
yeah.
like, I'm spending so much time cooking. I'm just going to record myself doing this and then put marketing related messaging over it.
I mean, I do that
Yeah,
too also, but then I never post the videos because I'm so
I
tired
know.
after that,
I
that like,
know.
I also like at one point I was going to be doing, I mean, I've had a lot of iterations of this. I was going to be doing something for divorced dudes with cooking. Like these are simple, healthy recipes. This is like how I eat. I eat really clean. But yeah, the reset thing, listening to your body, being in your body. But the thing is, no one teaches us how to do that. And when we don't know how to do that, that's how our lives get destroyed. And we keep making the wrong decisions because we can't feel what our body is trying to tell us. And like your body knew it was time to have a glass of wine. My body knew it was time to, break my celibacy a few weeks ago because I was ready, right? And I could use the same addiction is the same addiction, right? It's a self-abandonment. And you're talking about 3 glasses of wine. I would have like 6 glasses of, or minimally 6 to 12 glasses of tequila soda. So like there's a spectrum.
Yeah, I hear you. It's like, oh wow, we got a comment. Someone says they hate you. That's okay. We're gonna ban you and delete your comment.
Okay. Because they
Carrie
hate.
Johnson, house and home shop
Oh, good. I hate them too. I'm happy about that. Yeah,
on
actually, I
YouTube.
must be doing something right if they hate me.
Right? Exactly. I was
Yeah.
just talking to someone about that earlier. I'm like, man, if they're talking about you and your competitors are like laying down smack about you, you're lucky. You should go live and talk about that. Like,
I
let's
mean, I
really
don't think
stir it
that's a
up.
competitor of mine. I a
No,
lot of
but yeah,
people find me very polarizing, but the thing is I can't pretend that these things aren't happening any longer. Like,
let's get polarizing then.
yeah. Like, well, actually, last week, the conversation with Tim Fullerton really inspired me to speak my truth because I did grow up in an activist household. I grew up with parents that were activists. And, that's my
Same.
mindset. And, I'm not trying to destroy capitalism. I'm not trying to destroy the tech industry. What I am trying to do is give people of this industry, like, we can't fight capitalism. It's been around for 400 years. We're not going to be able to do that. But what we can do is give people the tools that they need to get through these really hard times. And it's all about nervous system literacy because when we just have all of this chaos and all this uncertainty and everything moving at such a crazy pace, and I know everybody, like every AI is like the speed of technology. But the reality is that life is really stressful and we need a way to be able to get into our body so we make better decisions and we're better to ourselves and we're more aligned and we're more connected and everything, and we don't get sick. We can actually reverse illness. Like I talk about this all the time. And it really is a panacea for society. And when I'm speaking about these things, I'm trying to affect change. I'm not trying to complain. I'm not a complainer. I have solutions. I really do believe that there needs to be some type of accountability and regulations. And I'm not saying like I think government shouldn't be like in everything, but when companies are incentivized to get rid of thousands of people and then they then also stigmatize those same people for losing their jobs, what are we doing? The whole point is to help people pay for their lives. And if we're not gonna change hiring practices and we're not gonna change layoffs and we're gonna let AI take everyone's job, then let's give people nervous system literacy so that they could survive these moments. Because I talk about suicide a lot, and like I've never been diagnosed with a mental illness, but I've been very like it affected my thyroid, it affected hormones, as we were just talking about. And that happens for a lot of women specifically. But like, I've been feeling really hopeless. It's really hard when you can't make money for yourself. And I worked so hard for so many years to only be told that I have too many short stints and I need to take jobs that don't even have a base and or any health insurance. And like, how do you live in America? So like Tim last week really inspired me. Like, I am really hopeful that maybe there will be like some minimal amount of healthcare for everyone in this country, because healthcare is what destroyed my marriage from the beginning. And it was also the first sign that my ex-husband's family business wasn't doing the right thing when they told me they couldn't afford insurance for me the day we got home from our honeymoon and I lost my job, when the whole time they wanted him to get put on my insurance. And I was so busy with trying to find a new job. I didn't even change my last name. Like, I literally kept my last name because I just left the Times and all the recruiters had my name. And I was like, well, I don't have time to do this. I literally need to get a new job. And these are things that people are dealing with. And like, we need to figure out as a society how we can better support each other. And I know people don't care about each other. I get it. But if you don't care about each other, care about yourself. And in this instance, like, let's try to figure out how to connect with ourselves better so we're not destroying people's lives, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, how do you think we do that?
I mean, nervous system literacy is literally how we do it. And what nervous system literacy means is like being aware of what's happening in your body, being able to actually affect change, right? Go from a dysregulated state to a regulated state, or sympathetic state to a parasympathetic state. And which is, these are all the terms we have on my Learn tab on meirl.com. Everything's going to be updated further in the next few weeks. It's just hard to do everything as a solopreneur, as you know, right? Are you there?
Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm like clicking all the buttons, like unmute, and like, cause I don't know. Can you hear like the noises from my background?
No, keep yourself off mute. You're good.
Okay. I'll keep myself off mute. You remember I had that mug on the last one?
That was,
I don't
yeah.
have that mug today, but I have I Love
You
New
love
York.
New York? Yesterday I was thinking I hate New York as I was walking down the street.
Fair enough.
I want to make a big, I didn't feel that way on the way back, but on the way where I was going, I was like, I want to make a big sign that says I hate New York. That's how I felt. And then I was able to feel better, right? I was able to get into my power. I was able to have an opportunity to talk to people. It's really isolating. So we need to think about like, what are the downstream effects of these mass layoffs, and why are we promoting a technology that's going to take people's jobs? I'm not an alarmist. I've sold emerging technology for the last 20 years. I'm saying, like, if we know that by 2027, I was on a call today. Someone's like, by 2027, jobs are going to be different. Fine, I get that. Let's evolve with it, but let's also give people the ability to find ways to heal themselves, because this is the way we're going to save society. Like, I lost 2 former coworkers to suicide. I lost my dad to that. And when you can't provide for yourself and you keep losing your job over and over and over, and no one will hire you, how do people live? That's what I'm trying to help, right?
Yeah.
And I am going to also be having panels with HR professionals and recruiters and talking about like ethical hiring in this climate, right? Because we're in a position that we've never been in society. Like, it really is a very different moment, right? Like, we don't know what's going to happen with the Iran stuff. We don't know what's going to happen with tariffs. Like, we really are at a loss of control, and that is how, when you don't have control, that's how you end up self-abandoning, and you actually what's it called? You actually outsource safety to others, whether it's, letting people make decisions for you, like through addictions or through relationships. And that's how we get sick. But you could also reverse illness. Like, you reversed chronic illness. So did I. But that was because we were able to get into our bodies, right?
Yes, exactly. And a lot of people want to have us thinking that like that doesn't work because they want us to buy drugs. But anyway, I mean, back to just like the job economy.
It's the same thing, though.
changing.
We could talk about the drugs, though, because it's all interrelated. Like,
It is. Yeah, the healthcare is a big part of it.
Yeah, and there's incentives, right? There's an incentive for society to have the big pharma, right? We all know that. There's still, like, I take a lot of supplements. It's based on blood work. I take thyroid medicine. I take stuff for blood sugar. Like, I still take pharmaceutical things, right? But I have the ability to reverse illness in real time. Like, I had chronic migraines. I thought I was gonna have to apply for disability at one point, which I really should have, honestly, instead of starting this company. And I know I've told you this offline before, but I should have applied for disability when I got laid off, and I should have gotten out a loan of credit. And these are things that a a line of credit when I had a lot of income. And these are things that I don't have any parents looking out for me. I don't have any adults. The only people that I thought were looking out for my best interest were my ex-husband's family, and they were actually stealing from us. So they manipulated a very vulnerable situation. And when you are left to fend for yourself and you get really sick, these types of things happen. And there really is evil in this world. So when we think about, pharma and nervous system regulation and what's happening, from a global macro lens, economically, whatever, regulatory, all the things that are impacting jobs, which is the foundation of safety. It's how we can make money and provide for ourselves. Health insurance, a place to live. We talked about that with Matt Fogarty a few weeks ago, right? Like, these are all interrelated issues. So if we can, as a society, teach people how to help themselves, that will take a lot of burdens off of society. And also, by the way, when we were talking with Tim last week, we were, a lot of the big pushback is, government subsidies, but that's not where the issue is. Like, I don't want to be on a government subsidized program. I want to make money. So give me a job. I'm really good at my job. Why are we saying and by the way, like, I don't have programmatic experience. So that gets me, that eliminates me from 90% of the job. So like, great, let's people, like, there was a time, Jessie, like a year ago at this time, or 2 years ago at this time, I was trying to promote something to get people the credentials that they need to get those jobs, right? Like, if we're not going to hire people because they're not qualified for whatever nonsense reason, when you could just learn. I sold emerging technology. I sold the hardest in the ecosystem. I could sell your programmatic, but you have to give me an opportunity. And if you're going to exclude me because I've lost my job too many times, you should ask yourself, why did I lose my job? Because it wasn't me. I was only fired one time, and that was after I closed a really big deal, and it was an illegal firing. Everything else has been whole company layoff. So if this is going to be in the news and we're going to talk about it, all the time across every platform, there's going to be layoffs. There's layoffs here. Then why are we making it harder for people to actually get back to a place of supporting themselves? Why are we making it harder for people to get hired? There's nothing elite about working for a big tech company and losing your job every 1.5 years and then getting blamed for it. Like, it's just not interesting. I'm not interested in that anymore.
But I do think that, like, you're doing the right thing in terms of starting your own business. I honestly think everyone should do that. And you might not figure out right away. It took me years. And honestly, it was like the first thing that I saw, like, brought in a lot of customers. It was like 5-day LinkedIn challenge. You're like, who would have known people would show up for 5 days and let me, like, challenge them on LinkedIn? And so, like,
challenge them with what though?
It was like a challenge to grow. So it was the beginning of the year, and it was like, I'm going to train you on, like, how to build your LinkedIn. Like, here's how to build your profile page. Here's how to put your image and fill out all the information on your profile. Okay, now let's look at our SSR scores or whatever they're called, and like our SSI scores, and see, like,
what's the SSI?
Look up LinkedIn SSI, do a search on it, and it will give you a score of how you're performing on LinkedIn. And it'll give these, like, basic kind of general things you should do. But for most people, what they need to do is make sure that what you want to be known for is crystal clear and it's all over. Think of your LinkedIn as SEO. So, like, fill out all the keywords on your profile page, and then make sure you're posting those same keywords. So I want to be known for B2B marketing and live streaming. So I better have that in my headline. I better have it in my experience on my page. I better have it in my cover image. I better have it in all the posts I'm talking about. So LinkedIn
100%.
is a search.
And that's the thing, like, you and I come from an advertising and marketing background, right? And like, while my, maybe my SSI isn't great because I'm still getting clarity in the business, but in general, like, we have an idea of what we're doing. And I get hit up all the time. But first of all, LinkedIn has a major problem right now. Like, and I said this to, there's another gentleman who works on, like, an IVT bot fraud stuff. Like, that was my background at Oracle. And I get hit up all the time by fake recruiters, fake opportunities, all these things. Like, people are like, oh, let me help you with your background, with your whatever. And I'm like, why would I trust you? Like, you're like some random person, maybe not even in this country. Like, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but like, for me, I'd rather speak to someone like you who actually knows what you're doing. You've been a CMO, you've run your own business. Like, and you're not like, I really think LinkedIn has, like, a problem of, like, to me at this point, minimally, it has a problem with bots that, like, I just don't think it's doing the job it's supposed to do. Cause, like, the whole point of LinkedIn was to help you get a job. And now I get the worst inbound leads because, you offer services, and I get all those things are fake. The other day, like, I think I got 4 requests at the same time from fake bots about jobs. And, earlier in the year, I replied to them and then I regretted it. And I didn't give them information, right? I just was like trying to work with them. And these are real problems. Like I think everybody's a bot. I don't trust anybody anymore across any platform. Like this is what happens when you try to start a business. Like the amount of fraud is really bad across every single platform.
Yeah.
I don't know how to address that because the companies that work on that are working on it from an advertising lens, not from an audience lens.
I think it helps both your it helps that situation, but it also helps your nervous system. It's just be authentic, be yourself, like put yourself out there as like a human live. Don't go freaking cold DM people automatically. That's so like 2017. Like
Also, when
it's
you're going to do
just
that, but when you're going to do that, Jessie, look at their profile first. Like when people do
they're not though, because
automated,
they're
I
automating
know,
it. So they're
I
just,
know.
yeah. So like they're not even that smart. And even the people who are automating it and having AI look at their profile and do a little bit of it's still not
It's
okay.
AI. It's not a human brain. AI isn't the human brain. We've talked about this like ad nauseum, and I'm never going to back down on it. But the human brain is superior to AI. We train AI, right? The same way we could train our
Yes.
nervous system and rebuild new neural pathways is the same way we train AI. So when we think about superiority in terms of this, AI is not going to replace humans unless we let it. And still, it's not going to do as good of a job. But to your exact point, like I get all these inbound things. Like some other guy followed up with me. I was like, you obviously didn't read my most recent post because I don't have money for you. And even if I did, I wouldn't be working with you. Like, what kind of inbound is this? Then, Jessie, I had another person, like someone I actually know, reached out to me a few weeks ago with like the worst, like, hey, you should come to this event. You could write it off on your taxes. And I was like, first of all, if you don't think I know what a business expense is at this point, you're insulting me. Number one, I've had an S corp since like 2015. But number two, what was the benefit of me going to this? That I could write it off on my taxes? Like, what kind of nonsense is that? Like, give me a benefit. What is the benefit to my business? What is the ROI on it? Like, who am I going to meet? Like, why would I want to attend this event? And that's what's missing from this outreach.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It's hard out there right now, but yeah, I still feel like starting your own business,
I
it's
have hair in my
hard.
mouth.
I hate that. That's the worst. It's so hard. It's like the hardest thing, but maybe do it as a side hustle if you can, but otherwise like yeah, I do think in like 20 years it's going to be probably even harder and it's going to be valuable to like have that like freelance type of skill to fall back on because AI it's not going to really take your job as much as it is also going to expose you, like if you're not doing your job, people who are doing their job and using AI are going to be so far ahead of you. So like actually learn your skill, craft it, do it well enough that you
But
can
like for
sell
what
it.
with AI? Like I don't personally like I don't think AI like for what I'm doing right now, I bounce some ideas off, I look at things, but the way they frame it is like I could tell what's AI because I see everybody's
Totally.
AI conversation. So I get notices and they're like attend this event and it's the same it's everything AI already said to me. I was like, why would I want to like for me personally, like I play with AI. I'm like an early emerging tech,
Right. It's
early
gotta
early
be like a
adopter.
first you gotta be a human it's gotta be a human in the loop. Like, you got like, I feel like use it, but not rely on it solely. So,
No,
like, the people who are using it, they're gonna be able to do it faster because they can use it as, like, a reference point,
it's a
you
reference
know?
point. It's not
Yeah,
a
it's a reference
substitute.
point.
But
It's
that's
like
the
a,
thing is
"Hey,
that
I
people are
wrote
trying
this
to make
and
it a
this. How do I
substitute.
tie it together?" Like or
Yeah.
like, "Hey, can you spell check this for me?" Or like, "Hey, give me
I don't
ideas of,
even think
like"
that's a
Oh, sometimes I do, like, grammatically, I'll be like, "Is this the right way to say this grammatically? Oh, did we lose you, Lauren? I think you froze." Ah! Hopefully, it's not me that froze. Oh, you froze right at the wrong time. But, yeah, no, this conversation is super interesting. Um, I'm gonna send Lauren a message to make sure she knows. You froze live. Um, come back. But yeah, I'll just keep raffing about nervous system alignment and AI. Maybe her and I have some different views here, but yeah, I use AI a lot. When I had a team, they used it more. Since, kind of going back down and scaling it down, I'm using AI automatically a little more. But then I have more of my time, so more human in the loop. And Lauren was even just telling me pre-show, like the content is so much better. So of course it is, because I'm a human and I'm able to edit it. And yeah, so like this all comes back down to like the job system right now and just like the job market. I wonder what's going on with her internet. If anyone's there watching, I feel like I see some lurkers. If you're here watching, okay, hers just left. So I think I am still live. I'm going to message her again. Should I stay live? But anyway, yeah, so we were talking about the nervous system. So I'm just going to keep going. I'll share a little bit of what I had kind of prepared on the topic, but I was just kind of planning on going with the flow. But this is actually a really valuable topic for us because it connects directly to things that I've been seeing repeatedly in marketing, entrepreneurship, leadership. People don't fail because they lack information. I think they often fail because they're operating from overwhelm, fear, burnout, stress, survival mode. So a few things I might bring to the table on this would be, like as an entrepreneur, the best SOP in the world won't fix a dysregulated team. So a lot of leaders think that, we need better training, we need better software, we need better processes. But sometimes that's true. But I've also watched talented people underperform because they were terrified of making a mistake, afraid of disappointing someone, insecure, carrying stress from things that happened outside of work. And, when they're not able to really focus on and do their job, then they could get political if they are feeling insecure. But, success, it really requires both accountability and safety. So I think one mistake that a lot of companies make is swinging too far one direction or the other. And I'm not perfect either. So extreme accountability without safety creates fear. But extreme safety without accountability creates stagnation. So the strongest teams I've worked with, they know that they know what's expected of them. They know how their success is measured, and that they can ask questions without being punished. I'm going to check in on Lauren before I continue on much more. Let's see, where is she? Let's see if she's called. Haven't gotten anything from her yet, but I'm going to give her a call. Just let her know I'm still live if she wants me to end the live. But I'll go on mute for a second. I'm on mute. So we're waiting on Lauren. Apparently, she's still having issues logging in. Luckily, I'm the producer and the guest today. So no problem there. Let me know in the comments. I see there's people here like, yes, we're having some like technical difficulties. Please send a message. Let us know that you're watching. I was just sort of riffing on some of my notes that I had on this topic. So, you know, I'd mentioned a couple things that like people don't fail because they lack information. But like as a CEO, founder, the best SOP in the world is not going to fix a dysregulated team. So that's number one. And two, success requires both accountability and safety. So I was talking a little bit about, you know, extreme accountability versus extreme safety. Let's see, is she back?
I'm back.
Yay. Okay.
This is what being a founder is about, right? It's
Yes.
so
Yes.
frustrating. I don't even know what happened. I don't know what happened to my internet. I like you were freezing in the beginning, like even when we were talking before, and I thought it was your internet.
No, I know. And I was like, wait, is this me or is this you? So I was like, yeah, I don't know. But so I just kept
So
talking and
frustrating.
then I'm glad I kept
We're
going on. But
back.
while you were gone, I'll just tell you sort of like some of the things that I was like, gosh, I don't even know where to take this. But as a CEO and founder, you know, the best SOP in the world, it's not going to fix a dysregulated team. And I think we need leaders that, you know, who are better at building culture, but a lot of leaders think we need better training, we need better software, we need better processes. And sometimes that's true, but I've also watched talented people underperform because they're terrified of making a mistake. They don't want to disappoint someone. They're like carrying stress from outside of their job. And when someone's nervous system is in survival mode, then they aren't accessing like the best thinking.
The full
So
capacity of their brain. And that's the thing, like,
yeah.
and it's not about culture though. Like that's the thing. I see a lot of people talk about it as like a culture thing. It's not about culture. It's about understanding how your nervous system, if you're having like a major life crisis in your personal life, when you go to work, it doesn't leave, right? It stays in the back of your brain. So you're making these decisions based on this unconscious underlying nervous system addiction, whatever that looks like, right? That's why I talk a lot about attachment wounds because they're the driving factor of most decisioning that we make as humans. So it's not really a cultural thing. It's more of a how do we regulate our bodies so that we make better decisions. We can get revenue. We could work together as teams because you're right, there are a lot of talented people that underperform, but there's also a lot of mediocre people that still get to keep their job. Like that's one of the biggest lies, I think. Are you still there though? Are you
Yeah, I'm
there?
here. I'm listening.
Okay, go back on screen please because I can't see you and I'm afraid that you dropped
Okay.
off.
Nope,
um
I'm here.
No, I see a lot of like I've seen like a lot of the things I see are, oh, great people will rise. That's not true. I'm a great employee and I cannot get a job. And that's a problem. There's a lot of mediocre employees that get to keep their jobs and it's not because they're better, it's not because they just get lucky. It's also been a men's club, right? In tech for a very long time and
That's
the men
true.
take care of each other. And when you're a woman in tech, it's just different. And I'm not trying to disparage men. They were my best coworkers. I loved working with men, like honestly. But when it comes to push and shove, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna keep our boys, or we're gonna get rid of this woman," oh, she'll have someone take care of her. Well, guess what? I was the money maker. I was the one providing insurance, and now I don't have anything, and I don't know what to do.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
it's not just about underperforming. It's more about how do we regulate our bodies so we're
That's
also
a good
not
point.
sick. We're not making decisions out of desperation. Like I used to make decisions. I would chase deals and spend way too long on deals that were never going to happen because I was so desperate to get money in the door because I knew I was going to lose my job in whatever amount of time because it's just the lay of the land. And if you don't have the ability to regulate your nervous system, you're going to keep doing those same cycles of dysfunction. So how do we protect our
I
workforce?
like that.
It's true though. And
I
thank
mean, I
you.
like
It's
the idea of reframing, like, because society, we think of culture, culture, culture. But maybe it's a culture of meshing together all these nervous systems. It's our nervous system.
yeah,
And, you talked about like tech and like the men's club, but like for a long time, tech was largely a men's club, let's be honest. And
it
the
still is.
systems and the leadership styles and the definitions and the success, they were often built around all that like traditional, like push harder, like work longer, suppress emotions and power through, it's like, and so I think what's interesting is that we're now seeing the cost of that approach. And when you think about like nervous system and they're like burnout is everywhere, anxiety is everywhere, turnover is everywhere. And so like nervous system literacy isn't really just a women's issue. It's a human issue, but
It's definitely
I
not a
do
women's
think,
issue.
yeah, like
And
many
that's the
women
thing, like,
entering leadership have
yeah.
helped bring some of these conversations, I think, to the mainstream. But like, I don't know, it like people need to be more willing to talk about it, like emotional intelligence, communication. Like, what are
Yeah.
some of those like words people maybe the workplace isn't ready for nervous system yet, or maybe they don't know about it, but like
See, I disagree with that because the emotional intelligence thing,
I
the
agree
culture,
too.
I don't
It's
like, but I
not
don't think those
there.
words, I don't think emotional intelligent teams or culturally resilient teams, that to me is AI slap. I'm serious. Like what we're talking about is getting into your nervous system. It's educating people in a way like it's like emerging technology, right? Nobody wants it right away. Nobody understands it. So it's
Right.
educating in a way so that people understand why we would be interested in this. And it is getting leadership to understand this too, because why would you want to invest in this? Well, this isn't a sales course. This isn't something that this is actually a training that becomes self-funded over time because your employees get better. Because it's not just at work, it's across all facets of their life. They'll take less time off. They'll be more productive during work time, right? I see people all the time. I'm like, how do you have a job? I see you out, babysitting your children. And I understand childcare is an issue in this country. But when I don't have a job and I see all these people not doing their job, there was a guy last week I went to the hair salon and I went off on a rant about this because I was very upset. Because I went to the hair salon. The last thing I wanted to hear was another tech bro talking about AI and terminals and tokens. I'm like, I could go on anywhere and listen to a bro talk about that. And then he was going on and on and on. I didn't have headphones in, and I should have. And then he said, it just annoyed me because it was like from 11 to like 12:30 on a Friday. Fine. It was a beautiful day. And then he's like, oh yeah, I think I'm going to cut out early. And And he started talking about layoffs. And he's like, yeah, it was when it was when the interest rate was low. They hired all these people and now they have to get rid of them. I'm like, that's not actually what's going on. And he was talking about Walmart specifically. And I was like, no, it actually happened. Walmart's closing locations for the first time ever because they're known for their low prices and their margins got cut when tariffs happened. And that their business is literally depleted because of that. And they're a margin-based business. So like these narratives impact society. And when people are so disconnected from what's actually going on, like people say, oh, the market's doing great, Wall Street's doing great, it trickles down. That's not true. So like these are all the things, like it's not even about emotional intelligence. It's about how do we get our bodies to a place where we make better decisions. So because when we make better decisions, then everybody makes better decisions. But when you have leadership, like I've had really bad leaders that were really abusive and they should not have been in their job. And they said that they were performing or whatever reason that that these leaders were kept in place. And the thing is if we were given a nervous system literacy conversation versus, people talk about all the different personality, INFJ, those don't affect, that doesn't affect change. So when we think about this conversation, it's actually supplemental to an L&D training, but it's something that actually impacts people's lives across everything. It's not just another sales course. It's not just another emotional intelligence. Like all of those cultural emotional intelligence, to me, I don't care about them. I want to tell you why this is important. And because this is how you can save yourself. And it actually can reduce healthcare costs over time. Like it costs a lot to get all of these services, but companies are spending 72% of healthcare costs in this country, right now, right? Like we learned that last week. And when we think about that, that becomes self-funded over time. People make better decisions. They could actually have more productive conversations. They're not afraid to talk to their asshole boss, like these things don't happen in silo. It happens in a very interconnected world. And the line between, offline for work and online for work is very blurred, right? Like you could be going to your divorce hearing and then jump on a call and sell your biggest deal of your life. And whether or not you've regulated your nervous system in that in between time is the difference between success and failure.
Yeah, definitely. Whew. So
I know
like
I have so many things to say. That's why I was like, I can't believe this is happening on our last
I
episode. It
know,
never happened
last
before.
episode. And
I
here
know.
we are. I know that never did happen before, but
Never.
the internet's weird.
Yeah.
It is it's the end of showtime. Like I can't believe it's already 2:00. Like, how do you want to wrap this up, Lauren? Like, what would be that like actionable advice you would give all of us?
I mean, I think that what we really just need to do is if you're interested in learning more, please schedule some time with me. There's a QR code at the end of this. I would love to come in and do an experiential workshop with you and your team and talk about what we could do that's actually practical for your team. I'm also going to be hosting lives and talk about like how to your life in real life. It's going to be on YouTube. I might take it to LinkedIn as well, but hate is a strong word. I love everyone and God loved us. Yes. Thank you, David. But the thing is that I think that like we as a society have the opportunity right now to help each other help themselves, right? I know nobody cares about each other, but if we're going to have mass layoffs and we're going to have people in fluster about worrying about if AI is going to take their jobs, let's give them the tools that they need to succeed so that they don't take their lives. And I know that personally because this has been a really hard journey of not being able to get a job, even though I want to work and I'll be your best employee. And now I was thrown
You
into
really will be.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be anyone's employee. That's the thing. I will be somebody's partner as a workshop consultant, as an experiential consultant, because this is what we need as a society. And we also need some hiring practices to be revised. Like we can't continue to punish people for losing their jobs when companies are incentivized to get rid of these teams. You know, we need to like live in a shared reality. So that's something I'm never going to stop talking about because not living in a shared reality creates more internal distress. And that's what gets us sick. And why are we making it harder for people? Like if we were actually like a good society, like, and I'm not saying capitalism has to be good, but like we'd say, hey, let's try to help these people land. You lost your job 6 times. Why am I saying that you can't get this job? You're not even going to be considered. What is going on? Why are we doing that? Like there's a lot of really good talent, including myself, but a lot of people that have been lost in the flood of what's been going on. And the answer isn't there's no jobs for you. Like that's not an answer. The answer is let's give our workforce the tools to succeed when there aren't any jobs.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. And thank you for this entire series. It was an honor to start it off with you and to end it with you. And
Thank you.
I'm going to put you full screen so you can officially close it out before the outro video.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. If you've been here any of the times over the last 6 months, or I don't even know the time frame at this point, I hope that you found this valuable. You learned something new. If you're ever interested, all of my information is everywhere. Please message me. I would love to be of support and service because I've learned a lot of things the really hard way, and I want to help people from getting more hurt because we don't need to get sicker as a society. We need to get healthier. So together we rise through nervous system literacy for all. I'll see you all next week on the Unfck IRL pod on YouTube. Share some of the brand partners that really helped save my sanity, help my nervous system, and keep me sane and from losing my mind each day. So first is Camuso. Camuso is a breathing tool that helps you regulate your nervous system in real time. And before we dive in, I'd like to do a little breathwork exercise together. So I like to do a 4-4-8 breath. And what you do is you inhale for 4, you hold for 4, and then you exhale slowly for 8. And that is where the magic happens. And that is where your heart rate gets reduced, your blood pressure gets reduced, your sanity comes back, your will to live, and your body literally can get regulated from a state of dysregulation to a state of regulation in real time. So let's do it together. Literally magic. Like you could feel the difference. You can literally feel the shift. That's why it's called the Camuso shift. The next thing is Quit protein bars with 20 grams of grass-fed protein, as well as Built protein bars with 17 to 20 grams of protein as well. That has whey protein in it. Both of those things help you stay regulated. They keep you fuller. They help build amino acids, which keeps your brain from having brain fog. It helps you think clearer, and it just helps you stay saner. The next thing that I'm absolutely obsessed with is morning routine. Morning routine is an electrolyte that is only 3 ingredients. It's literally apple cider vinegar, organic lemon, and sea salt. It's so delicious. And it's literally my favorite way to hydrate. I'm a wateraholic. I carry around a 64-ounce water bottle just for fun. I've been drinking water my whole life, and I stopped drinking a few years ago, which is why I love Recess as well for the sobriety spectrum drinks. But literally all of these things keep us regulated, they keep us hydrated, they keep us sane, they keep us full, and they just keep us from losing our minds. So that's what I'm doing. You can find all the links to buy those products in the links above.